Every single click, day 7 of 7, single player, new game, 1936. We're playing as Japan. That's all the major powers done. Been a journey, hasn't it? Me recording at stupid o'clock in the morning to release a video in the afternoon. Damn, I never thought I could even do it. This started off as a bit of a joke, and then I was like, well, let's see if I can go an extra day, and another day, and another day. Before you know it, here we are. So every single click videos is where I show 99% of all the clicks in Hearts of Iron 4, but I will be removing just some of the little bits of silence where not a lot happens to make the video flow better. So instead of watching a 3-hour video, 4-hour video, probably going to be about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just to save you guys time. Plus you get to see all the cool, fun content. We've done all the major powers. And you're probably thinking, well, have you done Germany? Have you done Italy? Have you done Britain? Yeah, just look in the previous videos, click on my channel, and look, they're all there. All of these videos are conveniently in a playlist named Every Single Click. And if you want to watch back all the other Every Single Click videos I've ever done, which are long-form content, but with the mostly super boring stuff removed, I will try my absolute best to min-max as much as possible. But I'm only human. I've not done a practice run, so there might be things I miss. Please tell me in the comments if that's the case. And also, I'll be playing semi-historical, meaning I'll try and declare war on roughly the historical dates they actually happened. Why? Because I just find that more enjoyable for me, other than doing this crazy rampage in 1936. Does that make sense? And of course, if you want YouTube to fill you more of these kind of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and YouTube will feed you more of this content that you actually love. Do you love this kind of content? Please press 1 in the chat. Oh god, we've done it. We're actually here, day 7. So in future, I might do more of these videos, and I'll do them all the minor powers that have got focus trees, for instance, such as, I don't know, Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, Hungary, Romania, other nations as well. Those videos might be a little bit trickier to do because you start off with a lot less divisions, just less factories, so it's going to be more of a challenge. Hence the reason why I wanted kind of more of an easy ride by doing the major powers. Anyway, we've assigned the entirety of our army here, and we're going to move them into the mainland part of Japan. Going to convert them all to the smallest division we've got, though, this one. Let me just double check the size of it, though. Yeah, that's nice. This is, once again, just for overall convenience. Once again, 3 factories. We're going to assign and build a few cities to begin with. Japan's in a really tricky state because they struggle with their industry. They need to focus on their navy as well as their land forces to defeat the Americans and the Chinese. So you kind of have to mix and juggle between a lot. I think probably Japan's probably one of the hardest nations to play as when you very start the game. So you could say industry is important. I need to get radio, so I'm going to beeline to that immediately. Reinforced rate's really important for those initial battles. Also, soft attack is going to be super big as well. So I'm going to assign the Mayo to that. Is it a standard Mayo? It is. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to set myself a strange arbitrary rule. Are you ready for it? So I'm allowed to finish all of these ships, which I will finish them all. However, I'm not allowed to build any more ships. Okay? I'm only allowed to refit my existing ones. And the reason why I'm setting this rule is that I want to just take advantage of refitting, because I think refitting is stronger than it's ever been. I just never really taken advantage of it. I think what I want to do initially is just focus on getting a 7-2 out and maybe adding a light tank onto it. But would it be enough armor? So this is 20 armor. If we add a light tank recon onto this, I have to change it here. This will add on a total of 3.5 armor. Now 3.5 armor, you're probably thinking to yourself, hang on, is that a high number or a low number? That's easy. So you go into your basic guns here and you can see the amount of piercing. So regular guns have a piercing of 1, but these guns have a piercing of 4. So ideally, in a perfect world, you need a piercing of at least greater than 4 to make it worth your while adding on light tank recon. But just to recap, the amount of armor it will add on will be 3.5. So we need it to be a little bit higher than that. Can we get it higher? Let's have a look. The basic chassis, add more armor on. And this ups it an extra 5 armor. Could do cast armor, which boosts it another 12. That would actually be viable, but we need 10 XP to do that. However, the production cost has gone up massively. It's gone up to 6.3, where originally it was 3.8. So we've doubled the production cost. I don't think that's worth it. I'll have a think about that one and come back to it. We'll see. The easiest fix, though, is probably just to go for the new light. So if you hold shift and click on the different tanks, you can hold them side by side. So this has 15 armor for basic light and 20 armor for improved light. That's a substantial increase, so that'll probably be worth it. Beware, there are other things in the game that can pierce armor. For instance, anti-tank, but it's very unlikely the Chinese will have anti-tank equipment with a piercing of a whopping 60. Artillery have a piercing of 5. Still relatively low. However, remember, piercing is an average of the entirety of the division, hence the reason why I focus on the infantry equipment. And also, anti-air has a very good amount of piercing at 25 as well. Once again, very unlikely the Chinese will have anti-air though. Focusing on the infantry equipment, the raw infantry equipment probably is the way forward. All right, we need to fix our nation. And the problems we run into is we've got the armed forces and the navy at each other's throats. And to do that, we need to steer Japan in the right direction. And this is the historical path. Purge the Kohoda faction. Probably going to say that wrong. And then we're going to assign all of the guns. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the rest goes into artillery. That's a good mix. I think I like that. That's good. All right, let's go. Also, we need to sort out our garrisons. We're going to do local police force and also prioritize garrisons just to get the maximum amount of compliance out of it. All right, so merge the entire navy up. You do that by holding shift left click, clicking all the fleets, right click them into here, and then press G to merge them. We'll sync them all up. Now, one thing that's really important is we need to make sure we've got the best planes on our carriers. And you can see these are the ones we've got. So what I'm going to do is move them to C and then click on the air wings on the carriers and on shift left click, and this will exercise them to level 3. Keep note that some of these aren't fully filled out, these carriers. So this can hold a maximum of 40, but now we're lacking a few. It's got the air wings, but we need the planes to fill up the rest. Got a mixture of close air support, and they've also got a mixture of fighters as well. It's a bit of a mix about them. There's even got a carrier here that's got no planes on it. I think I'm just going to focus on the naval bombers. So basic naval bomber airframe. Look for this icon here because this tells you it's going to go in a carrier, and go for the 20%. It's 5% production bonus for that Mayo. I think I'll do that. Next one we're going to do is the fighter. We got the fighter here. Interwar carrier airframe. Is that the fighter? Yes, it is. My goodness, it's not very good though. Regardless, we're going to build it anyway, and we'll sign 2 of the mills into that. What I'll just do is add a slow trickle of production of these planes so we can feed them into the carriers. You don't need to produce a lot of these. Just slowly make a few of them and you'll get enough for when the war kicks off. And what I'll do is I'll start removing the CAS off these and replacing them with navs and fighters. All right, I think that's good. To be honest with you, there's a part of me that just wants to make complete navs. Ooh, they've even got bombs on them as well. Kind of want to replace that with machine guns, and I can just have like a nav that does everything. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Anyway, let's merge up all the planes. What a cheeky little strat is, a little technique, is you left click and drag on the planes that are on the ground and then draw a box everything else. It will only select the ones that are on land. See these ones on the carriers? Those ones don't get selected, and then we move everyone here. I've just spotted that a bunch of these planes are actually carrier-based ones. Close air support, and these ones are navs. I'll delete the navs and then exercise those guys to level 3 as well. This is going to be tricky, I'm not going to lie, because we're going to have to branch out into military. Then we're going to have to do a massive tech switch towards navy. Then we're going to have to focus a little bit on air force to make sure our planes on our carriers are the maximum amount of strength. We're going to be bouncing back and forth and losing our minds here. Okay, the first guy I want to go for is this guy, because we need to be getting ticking army XP. You see we do this every game. Focus on mobilizing this one first and focus lies on getting army XP. Once again, in Hoi 4, it's like, is there a certain way I should play? Kind of. It all depends on what you need. And right now, we're going to go to war early. We need to modify a template, so we need army XP. And of course, getting the most industry is also worthwhile. Hence the reason why I went for that one as well. It is, the Kohoda faction has been purged. And now the focus tree has become nice and small. Now we're going to guide the big business inside of Japan. And don't bother upping your mobilization because you get war economy here for free. And then you get total move here for free as well. Your industry does get a massive jump start for mobilizing for Japan really early on. One thing we've not focused on is motorized as well. Very important for Japan. You have no idea how important that is. And also trains as well. See, our industry is getting absolutely squeezed right now because we have to diversify into so many different things. So the big concerns you're going to run into when you're attacking China is supply. Right now is a massive bottleneck around Beijing. But once you break Beijing, there's a supply depot here and one here. And then you tend to find there's like a big gap in the middle of the north where there's no supply. And then here, there's supply again, and you have to break this river line. And then you can kind of shoot through the south and push through. Then you run into other issues as well. Like, for instance, see this area from here to here, there's no supply here. And also you've got the mountains in the south, which are really bad. Also, it's tempting to naval invade into Guangxi Clique, but there's no supply in that region as well. It's really difficult. Okay, so we've got 2 planes here that carrier base. So what I'm going to do is hop into here, click on the carriers, and click on that carrier that has no planes attached to it. This small one here. So 1 and then 2 is carrier bombers. Yeah, and there you go. And now they'll fill out to the full 20. Nice. And we'll go for radio because we need that early war. I also need to exercise my fleets. I was doing that before, but for some reason it stopped doing it. Oh, it's because I put them back into port. For some reason, you can't exercise your carrier-based planes whilst in port. You can only do it at sea. There's probably maybe some historical reference or reason behind that, but this is what is currently happening. That's the way the game mechanics work. Okay, so there's a rivalry between the Navy and the Air Force. They hold all the power, and it can affect some of your national spirits for your nation. Let's see if we can find one. Yeah, so the rivalry is here. It's balanced. I don't think there's any bonuses for either side. No, there's actually not. If you look here, we can favor either the Army or the Navy. This favors the Army, which gives the factory output on a bunch of mills. That's super strong. I'll favor the Navy. To be honest with you, we're just going to be swinging back and forth here, guys. We're going to be favoring the Army to begin with, then favoring the Navy and swinging back and forth. This would be really good as a balance of power, but it's not. Anyway, prioritize guns. Here comes more mills. It's the easiest way of getting 4 mills right at the start of the game. It's so easy. The National Mobilization Law giving us war economy super easy. And also we've unlocked a Mayo bonus, giving extra production. Then we focus on soft attack. Then we focus on breakthrough and hardness, breakthrough. Queue them all up. Holding shift to queue them up, so it just saves you a load of time and having to keep dipping back and forth. Don't usually do this. However, we need passive bonuses early on. So defense and breakthrough is going to be really big. So I'm going to rush those early on. Machine tools follows by disperse industry. Same old, same old. So look through all your carriers now and see if you've got the maximum number of air wings. Each carrier air wing is 10 planes. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6. So in this case, that's totally fine. We've got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. However, just they haven't supplied enough fighters as it stands so far. Yeah, everything is great so far. That's good. Top that off as well. I'm going to mark this carrier bomber as upgradable and also assign a Mayo. Maybe we won't for now because we've not got the XP. We'll also discontinue all of those planes. So I just know which planes I'm going to be using. Okay, there we go. That's fine. As you have so many plane variants, it's kind of hard to keep track of them all. Okay, we're low on steel now, which is an issue that sadly Japan runs into pretty early on, and that means the production of our ships becomes a little bit more limited. What I'm going to do is exercise my fleet. And here goes all my fuel. We've got 100 days worth of fuel, so that's actually not too bad. But once again, it's giving us loads of naval XP, and that's what we desperately need. Construction 1 is naturally followed by Construction 2. Slightly ahead of time, however, it's worth it in the long run because it boosts our industry. Next up, we're going to go for the extra research slot. Remember, we need to diversify our industry. We need to be focusing on Navy stuff and focusing on Air Force stuff. Also, one thing to check as well, when you're building carriers, click on here and just check if you've got enough planes. So 3 for the carriers and 3 for the naval bombers. We want to make sure that's the one we fixate on. See, 4, 4. Yep, does that make sense? Yep. If you wanted to change this and add a machine gun on, it'd be 1 XP. Assign the Mayo is 5 XP. Okay, can't do that. But there we go. We're producing the one now we want to. Got a little bit of machine gun fire so it can fight other carriers, but simultaneously as well, it's also got a torpedo so it can strike enemy ships. I wonder if it'll benefit from floats. No, it won't. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I also worry about this one as well. Non-strategic materials. This really helps us in the long run because you end up running out of aluminium. There's Japan. It's one of the issues that Japan always had in multiplayer games, running out of aluminium. Okay, let's make an ideal division then. So duplicate this division and we want to set artillery. Reason why we duplicated this division, we didn't make a brand new one, is because we need an extra one because this one is used for garrisons. No, that's not actually true. We use this one for garrisons. Okay, that doesn't apply in this instance. However, I don't want to convert the entirety of my army. I want to convert like maybe 12 divisions maybe. We'll say 10 to this new template. And then we'll exercise everyone to level 3. You kind of need 2 divisions. One that has an attack potential with high soft attack. And then another one that could just hold the front line. That's why I'm focused on a mix of artillery and ground troops. Okay, so right now I've made those 10 divisions into 7-2s. But right now we're still doing okay for our resources. So I'm going to change this icon so it stands out more. Go with the eagle. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't delete them, no. And convert. And you can see now we're lacking artillery, but it's only by about 20 or 30 pieces of artillery. So that's totally okay. Exercise them up. Let's go. Just heads up, by the way, the definition of a carrier fighter or a naval bomber fighter is based on the first module. So this is defined as a naval bomber for carriers because it has a torpedo as the first slot. However, I would change this to a machine gun. See, it becomes a carrier airframe, aka a carrier fighter. Same if I change this to a CAS, this becomes a carrier close air support. The first module is what determines what kind of plane it actually is, and that will also determine the bonuses that you benefit from for your doctrines. So for instance, this path here in the center, if it was classed as a CAS, it will get 20% extra agility. However, if it is a NAV, you get the naval efficiency bonus. I think that might actually apply to CAS as well if it's got the right modules. I feel like the system of defining what a fighter is, a NAV is, or a CAS is It's kind of redundant since they add plane designer, but there are a few bonuses here that are only restricted to certain plane types. So for instance here, agility for fighters only. You hover over and it tells you what a fighter is. Fighter, a carrier fighter, and a jet fighter. But CAS here, we'll hover over this one. There you go, close air support, close air support. Right, we made a few civs now. So now I want to move on to a few mills. Once again, we're building the high infrastructure areas because we get the biggest construction bonus. To top it off, we've got some naval XP now, so go for naval reform to increase the amount of naval XP ticking per day. Top that off as well, going for the naval reformer is going to be really worthwhile. Decisive battle is huge. Attack and defense for your screens and your capitals is big. But then again, this is also pretty good too. No, I don't think it's worth it because the bonuses here are better. Now we're going to go for that. All right, there's two tempting things to do here. Rush artillery is viable. But then I did say I was going to go for the tanks, didn't I? This would probably be the most viable option because this adds on sloped armor. I don't think we're going to have time to add on light tanks, but it could be something to think about in the future. Be aware, there are some torpedoes that are better against ships. So this one is just straight up bombs. This one's is armor piercing bombs. So you can see this has naval attack of 6, but this one has a naval attack of 2. So when they do close air support missions, they're doing the same amount of damage. However, when a bomb hits with these bigger armor piercing bombs, they actually do considerably more damage to ships. Does that make sense? And then we have heavy bombs, these ones, which I believe don't even do much more damage. So they do a little bit more damage from 6 to 8, where the nav damage is 3 from 2. Okay, so these seem to be like just better stats overall, the bigger bombs, but they don't seem to be proficient at close air support or navs. However, we have torpedoes here, so hold shift and you can click through the damage here. So nav damage is 12 compared to nav damage of 17, so that's a big jump. Simultaneously as well, targeting is 4, and the target is 8. So it's basically the ability to hit. Torpedo damage increases exponentially. Take care of the torpedoes. The torpedoes are really big, particularly for late game. Make sure those carriers have the best possible bombs on them. All right, we are going to rush artillery here because we're going to focus on a artillery-based army early on. I realized too that we've got quite a lot of motorized banked here, so I'm going to shift this down. You can say we take a slight hit to the production. However, now, because this is a higher priority, it doesn't take the bigger penalty for the lack of rubber. Before it was a 15% penalty. Now it's a 5% penalty. And we've run out of fuel, so we'll go back to base now. Myos again, and this is the one for the infantry designer. So we're going to focus on soft attack. We're also going to focus on production efficiency, repairs, soft attack, soft attack, soft attack, soft attack, breakthrough, as well as overall damage. Yes. Next national focus is this one. I think we've forgot to select a national focus for a little while. But we've gained a little bit more political power, so that's all good. So Marines are usually pretty good as Japan. You will do naval invasions, but one of the issues when you do a naval invasion is you're going to have a supply problem. Plus, it's a little bit of a gamble because it doesn't always work. Plus, you're opening another front line, so it's a little bit more difficult to micro. My advice is just try and push through Beijing in the north. It's just going to be easier ride that way. And because I'm diversifying my navy, I'm going to recommend doing that. We've got a brand new carrier. Nice. It's full of navs. We need to produce loads of navs now, so we'll merge that up into our fleet. Okay, so there's a maximum of 4 carriers per fleet before you start suffering from a penalty or a carrier overstacking penalty. It's because carriers are OP in open oceans, okay? They're super strong. However, there needs to be a penalty to stop players from just overstacking thousands of them. So 4 is the maximum before you start just getting a penalty. But I think when you get 5, you get a 20% air-wing sortie penalty. But it's not overall that bad. We'll probably be splitting this navy up into several stacks anyway. But for now, that's totally fine. Concentrated 2 is then naturally followed by Concentrated 2. 1 to 2, yeah. National Defense State, giving us total mobilization super early. We work on Light Tank 2. We have the option to auto upgrade this. If we click this tank and auto upgrade, it's going to save us loads of XP. Political power. You always need more of it, particularly in situations where you're squeezed by having to diversify your research and armed forces navy. So adding more political power over time is going to be worth it. Just a heads up, this results in a net gain of political power over a 2-year period. So initially you're at a loss for 2 years, but then you start to make gains and it pays for itself. Does that make sense? We have the option here to upgrade these ships. This one can be upgraded, and this upgrade will take 300 days. That's huge. And this one can be upgraded to 162 days. We could reduce that by 25% once we get this one. The refitting speed 25%, so it can be reduced significantly, making refitting really viable. All right, more mills. 1, 2. Mixing it up with a few civs as well. Agents is always worthwhile. Usually building a collaboration state in China can help you out because surrendering China is difficult due to, where is it? This national spirit. Well, they've not actually got it right now, but they will get it when they're at war. It means they just surrender a lot later than everyone else. You usually have to take every single one of their victory points before the surrender. So because we're on total mobilization here, we have to do spiritual mobilization because we lose 3% recruitable. Then we have to gain 2.5% back. So spiritual mobilization. All right, we're going to move these guys now to the front line. You guys, best general, and a field marshal. And pop you guys on the front. Okay, I kind of want the general to be on the front. There we go. And the rest of you guys, you can pop them just here, because we'll funnel them into the front line later on anyway. Okay, more passive bonuses. We're going to need them because we're going to be going to war soon. Lads are on the front line. We need to make sure that we are using motorized priority. Go to field marshal and click once, then click twice. So if you want to, you can micromanage this yourself by clicking here and mobilizing yourself. It just means it assigns more motorized and more trains to this region. So therefore, you will be able to squeeze in more supply in this region. It also gives more supply range. If I unpause now, it'll go to max 3. And you can see this area is going to become significantly less red because the range is larger and the amount of supply capacity is higher. As you can see, hover over logistics here. You can see that we're now behind on trucks. So we're going to assign a few more of those. I'm going to just adjust my supply a little bit here. Usually you need more guns as Japan because you end up grinding against the front line against China, which can cause a lot of problems. It's really tempting to go for maintenance, you know. Yeah, we'll do that. Have to need a bit more support equipment too. This just means you lose less equipment when you're in battles. It also means you can capture enemy equipment as well, and you're going to be capturing a lot of guns from China because they've just have a ridiculous amount of weapons. Also, a little bit of anti-air will be good as well. Oh, we don't even have it researched. Oh, okay, we'll do that now. And assigned a spy into China. So you can see this 90% in red here. It means we're not fulfilling all our logistics requirements. And if you hover over it, you can see that the need is 1,740 trucks. And we have stockpiled 1,500, 600. So in that case, we need to get the rest made up. And you can see the loss of trucks there. Always make sure your logistics are maxed out. Honestly, that's going to cause so many problems in your nations if you don't fix that. So my advice is take advantage of that. All right, we're now going to go for Marco Polo now. Now, there is loads of ways you can cheese this and exploit this, but we're going to play historical and just play kind of legit anyway. This is interesting because I'll be able to take advantage of these bonuses when I refit my ships. And some of these refit costs are probably going to be pretty low because it's not going to have a production cost. That's good. Can I glitch this? Anyway, let's go for all of these. Speed versus, hang on, max speed plus 5%, fuel 5%, max speed 5% and 5%. They're exactly the same. Oh, it's range. I want speed because that's give better stats for spotting and also maximum range again. Yeah, because this is the latest model of my carrier, I want to make sure this is the different icon. We'll go for this one just so I can remember it. Once again, when I look at the ships and then look at the carriers on them, and I can tell them which ones have got the old models and the new ones. You can see the new ones are here. Put them to sea again. Exercise them. Exercise the fleet as well. Why not? We've caught up on our truck production now, so I'll drop the mills down. I feel like I want another 10 of these so we can get a full 24 army. So I'll convert another 10 and then exercise those up as well. And then we can reinforce them when we need them. Remember, don't put too many divisions on this front line. You're going to make a traffic jam. It's going to cause problems. All right, Air Force. We need them in the right place. Usually, you kind of want them here, but usually there's lack of range that's going to cause issues. I'm going to have to build up this airport here by 2 steps. 1 and 2. And drag that to the top. So close air support, which is Z, and then X for close air support. Did I say that right? I'm so tired, guys. Z is air superiority. X is close air support. Right click to assign them to that region. Yep. Then we're going to resume making the more up-to-date artillery to stack that soft attack. All right, what I'd like to do right now is grab the fleet, pull off the carriers, and also pull off the destroyers. Merge them with G. Too many destroyers, that. I'm going to select that and D to split. Then select that navy, put it into reserve, put that back into there. There's a lot of steps here, guys. I'm sorry, this is hard to follow. But we're basically splitting them off and G'ing them up. You have to play around with the buttons here to learn them, because I honestly believe this is really tricky to get your head behind. And then we're going to look for the guy that has the carrier perk. What's it called? Air controller, I think. Air controller. Yeah, this is the guy. And I'm going to put this guy now on shore bombardment. I'm not sure if that's the correct thing to do here. We might not get much shore bombardment, but apparently light attack gives shore bombardment. We're going to find that out shortly anyway. All right, we're getting there. So we're going to need to go for the greater co-prosperity sphere from the Eastern faction. We've got more improved tank now, and we can start building a few of these. Cast armor. Super high reliability too. What can we do to reduce the reliability? Do we add a cannon on it? Yeah, that's good. Decent soft attack and armor. Once again, not really rocking an amazing tank here. It's just okay. But right now, we're going to just add a few of those onto our divisions. And hopefully, that'll give us enough armor. Let's see how much armor it does add. So, light tank recon will give us 9.9 armor. Yeah, that's actually way more than we actually need, fully enough. Then 1 infantry on it as well. And then, once again, we'll exercise everyone to level 3 because they will lose XP when their division template has been modified. More soft attack. And also, I think we might be starting to work on our Navy stuff now. So once again, passive bonuses, really worth their weight in gold. Like these ones, for instance, 21 days for an extra passive a bonus attack. That's amazing. That's going to go a long way to do lots of damage. But these module ones need to be actually refitted onto our ships. So it makes me question sometimes if it's going to be beneficial. I think what we do is we focus on the lighter ships, make the soft attack as hard as possible, and that will help in the long run the capital ships at the back. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So when you hover over these Myos, check the ones that have been exercised. This is a weird word. It's been used to give funding. See that 59% zero size? This is 96% zero size. And this one is also a size 1 to begin with. He's got the heavy attack. We'll go for the task force shipbuilder. You get an idea, by the way, what these designers specialize in. So we have a carrier here, cruisers, and destroyers. This one's battleships and cruisers. So focus on what you want to take advantage of, basically. All right. We've used all our ships and produced all the ones we need to make. So what we're going to do now is start refitting. So what I'd like to do is find the ship that we've got a numerous amount of. Probably destroyers is going to be worthwhile. And then we'll make like an amazing destroyer. So destroyer 1. So you can only refit ones with their existing same chassis. So it has to be a carrier 1, destroyer 1. And then we're going to add on the task force builder because that's the one we wanted to assign. To be fair, the upgrades I can make on this are kind of limited. I guess I can put an anti-air on there or a level 2 dual purpose battery, giving anti-air capabilities. We can't even upgrade the engine either. By the way, there's 2 things you don't really want to upgrade. 1, you can't upgrade the chassis because it's just not possible. But 2, upgrading the engine has a very high production cost. It even says 12.5 extra production cost. That's very big. And then we're going to upgrade this. And this will be the new destroyer using a very old hull. Discontinue that one. And then if we select these guys, we'll click on the same model. We can upgrade them to the latest one. It actually says if you hover over it, how long it's going to take. It's going to take 10 days per ship. Oh, this is just a steal. It's a win. It's a winner chicken dinner. And then we need to assign the ships. And there you go. You can see they've all been assigned now. We shove that to the bottom, pop that here, and then continue the repairs. You can see repairing them one by one by refitting them up. Bye-bye. My terminology is not quite there at the moment, guys. I'm just keep using the wrong words. Just forgive me and fill the gaps. If you follow along at home, you'll know what's going on. Right, more Navy stuff. Focus on the passive bonuses first. All right, it's time. The Marco Polo incident. So, we have a very broken Chinese army versus a very broken Japanese army. However, you can fix your army significantly quicker than the Chinese can fix theirs. So, it is basically a speed run. Can you fix your armed forces quicker than they can fix theirs? That is the question. Anyway, we're still going to work on our spies because I almost forgot about that. We're not going to bother about testing the Soviets because that's just, I feel like a really annoying mechanic that I'm not a fan of. And we're also going to be focusing our industry in the meantime. I think we've got enough civs at the meantime, so I think I'm going to make a few naval dockyards on the back of this as well. Put a little bit of steel as well, just to keep the production nicely flowing in. You can see we're upgrading the destroyers here. All right, more passive bonuses. We can now spend a little bit of naval XP to speed this up and get better torpedo attack. Yeah, it's definitely worth. I'm probably going to try and add as many torpedoes onto my destroyers as possible. The problem is if I lose all my destroyers, that's all my screening ships gone. And then my carriers are going to be exposed. And at that point, my navy's gone. It's gone. It's done. It's done. Okay, sonar's going to be worthwhile. And also better torpedoes, but we can't go for those yet. All right, let's do sonar then. At the same time, we'll get an elusive gentleman, and Prince of Terror is going to pay its weight because we're going to be occupying a lot of Chinese territory. Another spy, the Chinese one, so it'll build a network quicker. Look at the big gaps between this. So remember to reassign a spy in the north when we're done. There we go, the Marco Polo Bridge incident. So what you need to do now is go into decisions. We need to be at war before we can do it. So we declare war. Yep. We're going to make the front line go here because we're not going to bring in our puppets into this war. I'm pretty certain now the way it works now, the AI doesn't declare war on the puppets. So we need to attack from land that we own, which is only this state. At the same time, we're automatically going to escalate the war. So the way it works is at the very start of the war, you suffer from a crippling penalty when versing the Chinese. Where is it? This one. But what you could do is over time, hit this button, spend political power, and escalate the war. So I think the idea behind it is the Japanese expected the Chinese just to roll over like they did in all the previous wars, but this time they actually relatively did fight back. But then the issue run into is then each side wasn't really committing their full armed forces This lets you commit more of your armed forces. But also the Chinese have got their own equal problem. Where is it? Army corruption. So it's a matter of they spend XP to reduce this army corruption modifier, but then also you could just hit the button, spend political power to escalate your war on your end as well. It's kind of a battle on both ends to who can escalate the war quicker and actually dedicate their full economy to the war effort. Okay, next up, we are going to go for Army Expansion Law. Yeah, because this gives a passive attack bonus and defense bonus to our full armed forces. So it's worth its weight in gold. So they're initially pushing into us here, and they're getting absolutely torn apart. They want to attack us, though, because they gain XP, because that's how they remove their negative modifier. I can remove mine just by hitting the decision. And the supply situation is still looking good. At the moment, I don't really want to change much. All right, are we good to go? Can we attack? Yep, 3, 2, 1, off you go. We'll just let the AI take care of this for now. And by the looks of things, they're doing a mighty fine job. Are they piercing our armor? Yeah, they are. Where does it show the piercing? We're actually running behind on tanks a little bit, so it might be because we don't have the full supply as a part of our army. We might be using old tanks. Yeah, we are. We're using old ones. 3.1 armor. There you go. So remember, armor is an average based upon all the armor that's a part of that division. Now, this might have amazing armor, this tank, which has an armor of 53, but that would only be 53 armor if the division consisted just of tanks. All right, we're not going to do Prince of Terror because we actually do have the infantry expert, which gives a massive attack bonus. So I want to take advantage of that. All right, speed it up. It looks like you're losing these battles, but just keep pushing, keep persevering, keep reinforcing, and eventually you will break them. We might need to dedicate the rest of these guys here on this second army and just assign them back on the front. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll stop the attack just for now to build a bit more planning bonus. And then we'll attack once again once everyone's on the front line and got maximum planning bonus. So how does planning bonus work? So whenever you're on the front line and it has an offensive order, see this blue bar here to the left? You will gain a ticking amount of planning bonus, maximum up to 44%. And then whenever you're engaged in this battle and using this battle plan, you will gain those 44% attack bonus. But however, it just tick down over time, as planning naturally does. All right, I think I'm going to do the shore bombardment thing now and just see if it actually works. So can I do shore bombardment here? And shore bombardment is reducing their defense by 3%. See, this is the reason why the capital ships just do a way better job with this. I'm going to pull off some of these big battleships here and attach it on to the big carrier fleet. Now when I attack, 22% reduction in defense from shore bombardment. See, the difference is absolutely huge. However, this is consuming way more fuel. So, of course, there's consequences to that too. You can do two ways with shore bombardment. You can put them on hold position and just manually move them like here next to the coastline. Or the easy cheap way is naval invasion support, and it will give naval invasion support whenever it's applicable. All right, can we prepare a collab government? So what this does is it reduces their surrender limit. So it means you need to take less of their land to capitulate them. Trust me, in the long run, this does help out massively. So highly recommend doing this. Also, we need to escalate the war, keep escalating it. I think this can pop up every week, maybe. I'm not sure. I think I'm better off actually manually attacking here, not using planning bonus. I'm not sure. We'll see. Because there's a downside to manually right-clicking and moving because your planning bonus decays at 4 times the rate. So right-click here and then right-click here. And oh my god, we're absolutely demolishing them here. They can't pierce the tanks now. See, this full golden shield means this division cannot be pierced. But this one can be partially pierced, and these ones can be pierced because they've got no tanks in them at all. All right, the refitting job has been complete. So now we go into our armed forces and see if there's any more ships we can refit. What did we call that ship? The one we made. We need to keep it and give them good names, otherwise we'll just forget them. So this one's called the New Destroyer. So just look for the New Destroyer. Can't actually see it. These ones? Yeah, there you go. New Destroyer. Can you see it? New Destroyer. So we're going to select this group now. These ones, I'm holding shift and double clicking, by the way. And then convert them all to the new class. I realize there's an actual upgrade available as well. What does this do? Gives extra speed, anti-air. Yeah, we want all the bonuses. Yeah. To be fair, we kind of need sonar as well. And we're working on that passive sonar. Kind of want to, before we start doing those refits, I kind of want to take care of the sonar so we can upgrade it to the most most optimal build. Also, I need radar too, because there is radar attachments that you can add on to ships to give extra spotting and extra attack bonuses as well. Passive sonar is done. Then we go for active sonar. Queuing up attack bonuses, something we're not really going to incorporate fully into our armed forces, so I don't really feel as engaged with that. So keep kind of sidelining that for the time being. We've run out of fuel, so we need more of that from America. Japan's buddy, right? In the war, right? At the same time, we can pull off the destroyers and pull off the carriers. End of the day, the only ones we need to be hanging around now are the capital ships, because they're the ones doing the shore bombardment anyway. There you go. We're getting loads more fuel back now. If it's showing a green number, it means we're gaining fuel. If it's a red number, we're losing fuel. If it's 0, you have none. Realize too, we also have this that we can add on as well. Maintenance, and also a bit more artillery is going to go a long way as well. Let's do it. I'm just going to pause for a second. Once again, building planning bonus, and then exercise to level 3 as well. Once again, that 25% attack bonus is massive. At level 2, you get no bonus. At level 3, you get 25%. Checking out my logistics, it's all looking pretty good, apart from tanks. Yeah, we're really having a hard time keeping up the tank production. I think the reason why we're struggling so much is because it's got cast armor, and it's making the production cost of this tank so high. Whereas riveted armor drops the cost significantly. We lose 10 armor. I think we'll go for welded armor as a middle ground. All right, push. S to split, so we need to pull off half of them, and then control right click to support attack. You can see the damage we're doing now. Most of them aren't getting pierced now. You can see we're breaking them, and the front line is completely collapsed. Okay, so the slip has happened. We need to turn this into a slide. So go, push, push, go, go, go. Hold them in place. Keep pushing. And when you push southward, these are all planes, so we can just sweep around the back of them and do big, fat, juicy encirclements. I'm going to try and swivel around here, do the maximum amount of damage. Yep, that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to split them off so we can keep flooding their front line here. Active sonar is done. Those are the 2 big upgrades we wanted to take care of early on. Probably extra torpedoes. Depth charges is kind of worth it. But I don't really think the damage you do to the depth charges is that worth it. I kind of just like detecting them first. And when you detect them, that's when you do all the damage anywho. Okay, so we are pushing in here and we're doing some pretty high damage. But I'm a little bit worried that we might be pushing too far forward and leaving ourselves exposed because they can keep flooding into the front line. Always running into an issue where you get low supply in this region. So I always like to build a dock right in this region. Okay, we did our first collaboration state. And we've taken the north, so that spy is not active anymore. And then we can just do another collab government. Yeah, do another one. That way we can cap Japan at lightning speed. Oh, encirclement opportunity here. Oh, I'm definitely going to take this. Yep, yep, yep. And it's done. The first encirclement. Every division you encircle means you haven't got to fight it today. So my advice is hit them hard. And once again, they've just closed their encirclement pocket here. I'm going to push further north. And we've got them encircled again. Also, our general now can get infantry expert, which gives a massive chunk of attack bonus. So that's definitely worth. And we also have the option here to close this pocket in the north too. So this is going to be devastating for them. So I'm going to try and swoosh around and lock them into Beijing and pin them in as well so they can't leave. No, you can't leave. And there you go. Look at that encirclement. Ooh. That's pretty nasty. All right, at this point, I feel really confident. So I'm going to put them on battle planning and put them on aggressive. And then just push. At the same time, we desperately need mills. Of course, we don't have anywhere to build them because the infrastructure is really bad in mainland Japan. We're just going to build a few just here and just mix it up. Beijing has been encircled. Cavalry charge with a sword. What were you thinking, China? Pop. All right, further forward now. Oh, looks like they've encircled us as well. AI really knows what they're doing today. Focusing on more on radar too. And can we rush soft attack? No, there's no point. But we are going to rush construction because keeping up with the industry of the world is going to be difficult as Japan. So make sure you take care of that. It did encircle a few of my divisions there. Once again, keep an eye on your divisions. Keep microing. Keep on top of it. And that's how you avoid those situations. It's totally okay, though. I don't mind just losing a few divisions. End of the day, you want to make an omelet, you need to break a few eggs, right? Okay, we're going to get into a position now where I kind of feel a little bit like we've got more breathing space. I'm going to pull in a few more 5 more divisions and then put them into the main Eagle division, our main one. Just going to give myself a bit of breathing space because there's an opportunity for encirclement here and I want to take it. So I just don't want to be in a position where I'm a little bit exposed. China war is always really difficult. The front lines are so wiggly and a bit weird and they're really hard to follow sometimes. So usually you end up in situations where sometimes you lose a little bit of control of your army. So just usually pause for a second, take a deep breath and restore where you are on the front line. I believe in you, you can do it. And once again, I've seen an encirclement opportunity here, so I'm pushing in to this region to see if we can squeeze them in this region. And an encirclement. Is it doable? Come on, guys. Everyone get on this battle. Everyone getting on it. Yep. And don't forget to close the pocket from every corner because otherwise they'll reinforce. They always try and relieve their pockets on the front line. All right, go, go, go. Attack. Close the pockets. Okay, keep an eye on your logistics. It goes without saying. Keep an eye on those logistics. Everything's looking pretty swell right now, so I'm happy with that. Move our planes over to get a little bit more air efficiency. With that as well, we can also go for the centralized control, which gives more range for your planes. Logistics focus is also worthwhile as well because it reduces supply consumption. And this is the reason why we built this port here. Because as you can see, there's no supply on this side of the river. That's the reason why you've got to push over and do as much damage as you possibly can. All right, once again, pause, take a breath. You don't need to keep attacking. Just take a breath. Pause for a moment. It's okay. You're winning, so it's all going in your favor. Just wait a moment, take a breath. You're winning. You can do this. I know you can do this. All right, go here. Shift that to the top. Off you go. And we've got a little bit more supply now because this port's opened up. Building a little bit of a railway just to connect it up. Everything is looking pretty swell right now. What I'd like to do is, I realize I've got a carrier fleet here. What I'd like to do is put you guys here and then tell you guys to do close air support and air superiority. And we can maybe lose a few planes here. But at the end of the day, I don't really care that much because they're planes I'm not going to use later in the war anyway. Realize there's an option to upgrade here, and that's really worthwhile because, once again, you have got so many old tanks here that have rubbish armor, so we need to put the best possible armor on them. So I'm just going to do an upgrade while waiting at the moment. Don't usually prioritize upgrades normally, but if you've got a few old tanks that you're not really taking advantage of, why not? All right, let's make a better destroyer. We need to be using this opportunity to refit. So hit the upgrade button, which is easy, it just upgrades everything. Maximum sonar. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. New destroyer version 2. I'm going to put the word new as big, just so it's easy to follow what I've upgraded. And I'm going to put the cannon on it so it's got a slightly different icon. And then at the same time, I'm going to merge up all the fleets, apart from the carrier because I'm using that. Move you guys here so I can see what I've got. And then I'm going to break off all the destroyers and convert the entirety of them, every single one of them. Move those guys over because I want the port with the higher level. It's good. Select all. Is there an option to select all? I can hit refit for the entirety of the fleet, but I have to select them. Just select all, create new task force, hold them. No, you can't. You have to just manually click through them one by one. If you double click, you can all select all of that one certain type and then refit. And this will take 21 days per ship, and you can see the stat increases. The only negative stat increases are the ones where it increases the fuel consumption, which kind of makes sense. Upgrade! And then you can see the massive upgrade list now. It's important you change this and shift it to the bottom, because that means you need to prioritize the refits first. Another collaboration, government! And now if you hop into the war progress, you can see that it's got the hand icon and the surrender limit has dropped more. If you look at China 2, here you go, surrender limit plus 15%. So it becomes a problem if you don't take care of it. And it's just a really easy way of capitulating China a little bit quicker. More radar. All right, more passive bonuses. We're going to go for bracket shooting. This gives some big, hefty bonuses to our battleships, so definitely worth. Take advantage of the extra naval XP because it will go a long way. So here's something I've never really done very often, and I want to actually see how effective this is going to be. So I want to change to naval refit, and the idea is it makes this 25% quicker. So 28th of December, 28th of December, remember that. Change it to naval refit. Now it's the 27th of December. Yeah, so it has worked. It's reducing the refit time by 25%. Are we in position? Are we in a good spot? Are we aggressive enough to push? I think so. Want a second army here, though. So I want to move you guys down to here. And then I'm going to introduce a new army that's going to go here. And these guys are just going to hold the front line. And select a defensive general for that. Also have another general here, another defensive one. And we can just put him right here to push into the front line when needed. Realize I moved the carriers off. So you can click the fleet, right click, and then you can pull off the carriers. And then move them back here again. And then same again. Click the planes. Air superiority, close air support. In fact, I'm just going to merge both of these armies, even though I'm slightly overstacking. I'm also going to add on support artillery because this gives a good juicy 21 attack bonus for the weaker armies. All right, we broke the river line. This is what it was all about. My advice now is try and swoosh around the front line. These are all technical terms, by the way. Swoosh to connect up to the coastline on this side. Torpedoes. Improve the torpedoes. Said I wasn't going to do this, but no, actually, we're going to do the catapults. This is spotting for all of our ships, so it's definitely worth that. Spotting overall can result in more overall firepower, so I would really recommend it. I'm going to grab some of our submarines now and put them on convoy raiding in these regions. Because I'm worried that if I do encirclement here, they're going to pull out of this region, and we're not going to be able to encircle them. We need to make sure we're still dealing firepower. Otherwise, when they pull out of here, I want them to be able to lose these divisions and not have them again for fight again in the future. I've also forgot to keep escalating the war as well. Escalate more. Also keep an eye on the army corruption for China. And they're at 20% now. They were at 30% to begin with. So it looks like we're going a little bit quicker than them and escalating the war. So it's slightly in our favor at the moment. The United States demands an apology and compensation for sinking the USS Panay. Okay, I'm very, very sorry. Sorry, very sorry. We do war bonds. And is there anything else we can hire right now? Concealment's good. Logistics is good. We'll need to change these later on because some of these are naval focused. And then Prince of Terror as well. I said I was going to go for that, didn't I? We need to focus on guns as well as the warpers as well. Also adding on more machine guns is usually worth it as well. just for more soft attack damage. Keep an eye on the front lines because weird things can happen like this sometimes due to the front lines, the way they're shaped. But at the same time, you can use this as an opportunity for an encirclement. Will it be an encirclement? Nah, but it's still pretty cool though. All right, narrow the front line for the attacking army and then spread the front line for the defending army. At the same time, we can increase our collab government as well to the max level. Be aware this is quite expensive. It costs support equipment, guns, as well as civilian equipment, so it can add up in the long run, so just be aware of that. Opportunity for encirclement. Usually just go around here and then you can pin them against the coastline. There you go, and the encirclement's complete. Doesn't look like an encirclement. Oh no, it is. It is. Oh, there's another one here as well. Another one. And there you go. Rocket shooting is complete. Next one, ladder shooting. Machine tools. I feel like a lot of the things I do right now are kind of self-explanatory, and it's hard to tell how many of these videos you guys have watched and which ones you followed along with. So that's the reason why I'm kind of like reluctant to talk about certain things, because, well, I don't know how much of these videos you guys have actually watched. Right, catapult is complete too, so we can improve our cruisers. We are going to go for the depth charges though as well. Another encirclement. That's big damage. Once again, attacking the big cities is usually not a good idea, so just going around the back of them is a good idea. Also, because we're winning massively right now, we can start beelining to the victory points. And there we go. Beeline to the victory points here. You hold F4, you can find the supply depots, so I'd recommend you push towards those. You tend to find here, there's a few victory points we can grab here in the west, so go for those. And then grab some more. Once again, it gives you supply, and then it deprives supply from the other side, so it tends to give you more on offensive capabilities. All right, next up, extra armor on ships. Now, upgrading armor on ships is something you don't really want to do because it increases the production cost massively, and refitting is really slow. But you know what? I'm going to do it just to see how effective it might be in the long run. And see, we're still working on our refittings right now for our existing destroyers. There's a lot of destroyers that need refitting. Escalate the war again. Be aware, every time you escalate the war, you're adding war support to America. It'd be nice if you get like a pop-up as America, let you know that your war support's going up. But war support now is really high for America, so you're kind of buffing America inadvertently. Okay, going to split off another 6 and add it onto the general, because now he has got this trait, which allows him to have an additional 6 divisions onto his army. All right, front line, go here, staff office plan, narrow the front line, spread them open over. Yeah, we're looking good. You see we made another encirclement here. Go, 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 go. Oh, and we've intercepted their fleet here. It is basically battleships and submarines versus screens and destroyers. And we're doing some fine damage, so it's all good. And we just clean up. All right, planning bonus is done. Go aggressive. The next wave. Wuhan. Nothing bad can come from that place, right? Next, supply depots. Next, supply depots. Push, 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 push. Once again, weird things have happened to the front line. Once again, it happens, but the AI's put themselves in a predicament here where they could get encircled. Silly AI. And has it happened? Will it happen? It's looking like it. AI's feeling pretty confident to push this further forward, though. That's pretty insane. And there we go. Oh dear, what have you done, AI? AI loves to take opportunities to do snakes, which is pushing into the front line and potentially making encirclements and just causing a bit of a nightmare for you as a player. I guess it kind of works, to be fair, because then you are in a bit of a predicament where you kind of have to wiggle your front line and micro a little bit. Be aware that some of these battles look like you're losing them, but just keep progressing and eventually you will push them back because you've got way better stats than them overall. And you're gone. All right, do the same thing again. We're going to expand the front line and then narrow the attack from our end. Once again, beeline to the victory points and the supply. I keep saying beeline to the victory points. It's actually beelining to the supply depots. Okay, final one is shell dies, which increases soft and light attack. Soft attack? It's light attack and heavy attack for ships, for everything. Once again, it's a really good upgrade. Also, this one decreases the chance of critical chance. Critical hit chance is also pretty spicy too. Extra soft attack. Now we're at war. Once again, we're moving towards Navy now. Everything is being Navy prioritized. Also want to go for the torpedoes. Sure. Also, how are the refits going? There's still loads to be worked on. So we need to be working on naval dockyards right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Lots of naval dockyards. At the same time now, we're going to escalate the war, but also we're going to prioritize naval production. So grant draft exemptions. And this gives more dockyard construction. Also prioritize naval construction. So the Air Force for Japan wasn't an independent entity. It was either a part of the armed forces or was a part of the Navy. So that's why you have to prioritize production of planes either for the forces, the armed forces, or the Navy. Do that one. Okay, this is the final one. This gives a massive attack bonus against China. However, it gives a massive amount of war support for USA. So my advice, don't do Ikigo. It's the one you want to avoid, that one. The south is completely collapsed. And same again. Push for the victory points. You can see the supply now is getting really bad. Okay, I'm going to grab the planes here, you guys, and and attach these actually on directly to an army, and then it'll move off the carriers because we're going to replace all the carrier planes anyway. Okay, just adjusting our production here because we've got artillery, we've got tanks, so we don't really need to produce as many of those. Guns are always going to be useful because they're flexible, and assigned a few more mills onto our carrier planes as well. Realize too, we should be focusing on carriers as well, but there's so many things that we need. We go for the big torpedo. Yeah, the big torpedo. Let's do it. This is a really good push southwards here, grabbing all those key victory points. Every now and then press F4 and just check your supply lines. Make sure your supplier is looking good. Otherwise, you're going to run into problems. See, right now, this is a supply depot we desperately... Look how red we are here. But being that these divisions aren't very strong, we're probably not going to be able to break this, but I'm still going to give it a try. And with enough firepower and enough determination, the rubbish divisions do eventually break. And that's given us a massive supply advantage in this southern region. So we're going to work towards supremacy of will. You can either go technology or supremacy of will, and will just gives a flat bonus. So once again, passive bonuses are always worth their weight in gold, so I'd always recommend that. How are things going? China is at 85%, so we're coming down on them pretty hard. And Poland has been invaded by the Germans. War around the world is escalating. Going to beeline now to the victory points inside of Guanxi Clique, Nanning, this one, and the northern one, and that should cap the Guanxi Clique because they don't have many victory points. Is that enough? Capped, and that opens up the front line here, gives it a massive gap, and then we can also close these pockets, taking out a big handful of Chinese divisions. Now the front lines have all been closed. What I do is H to hold, and then Control B to get them on the front line again, and then we're gonna have to adjust the front lines again. Red comes down because they're holding the front, and then the attacking front is the orange front. Okay, shell dies are done, and we've got the final collaboration government, and now we're going to start putting spies in the United States. Of all places, the United States of America. I wonder what the Japanese are planning. War bonds is good to reduce consumer goods, and also having good stability is also worth it. But is it worth it? Because when we're not at war, we're not going to have that stability hit impact. Improved dual-purpose battery. So this is going to improve the destroyers, even though we're still kind of working on the production of them. The refits are taking a lot longer than I expected. Regardless, reducing the chance of crits with these upgrades is big. Right, you guys are on the front line. I'm gonna... Oh, I cancelled the front line by mistake. Draw that one again. Put you guys here. And then I'm gonna do staff office plan and get you in position. And that's a good, decent amount of planning bonus. So, once again, attack. Off you go again. We have max army XP. I just totally forgot about that. This training is pretty good because you had a really lot of difficult terrain types you have to break in South Asia. Hey, listen, it's a good problem to have, having too much army XP. You gain an absolute ton of it attacking the Chinese. Bigger, medium batteries for the cruisers, sure. So one issue you do run into late war is you tend to find that the front line gets thinner and thinner and thinner due to the fact that your front line is getting longer and longer and longer, and therefore the amount of power that you can project becomes more difficult, and that's where you have to train more troops overall. And so we're going to have to train a bunch more. We've got the equipment for it, so I don't know why I just didn't do that earlier. All right, China is at 97%. They are the only major power left. I'm just going to beeline to Chongqing. Also, Supremacy Will is OP, so do it. And I think that's it. Pop goes the China. And I'm taking the lot. So, there's two schools of thought on this. You either use Chinese puppet power, manpower, and you use it to reduce resistance as well. So there's two pluses to puppet in. One, you need to not care about the resistance, so therefore you hold on to more guns and equipment through the garrisons. And simultaneously as well, you get to take advantage of the puppet manpower as well. I'm an aesthetic kind of guy. I find it kind of more fun just to take the whole lot. But if you want to release China at any point, you change your mind, you can do that if you want to. But look at that compliance, because we built a compliance collaboration state. 99%. So what I'm going to do is go into China and change this onto civilian oversight, because the compliance is already really high anyway. So we'll keep it high. Would you like to form a provisional government of China? No! Wow, 100% stability, 100% war support. That looks pretty good. All right, so this is the part of the game we need to prepare for the war versus the Allies. And the Navy needs updating significantly. We need to be damaged a lot of our coastal fleet. I don't know when that happened. Anyway, we're low on steel now. So what you need to move towards now is loads of excavation techs, because you have the ability to pull loads of resources out of China. What we're going to do is deploy all of these armies and convert them all to the best division anyway now. And then we'll put them all garrison on the mainland and exercise those to level 3. We'll be behind on guns for a wee while, but it doesn't really matter because once again, we're focusing on our Navy at the moment anyway. Okay, Air Force. I'm going to group it all back together here, merge them all up. Now we select our carriers and we need to reassign all those navs. So 3, 1, 2, 3. This one is fine. This one we need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one we need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other one is totally fine. The same again, we're going to exercise all those guys to level 3 as well. More naval dockyards. Yes, 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 and yes. I'm going to move the guns to the very bottom here. That way, the refits don't suffer from a steel penalty. And we can refit them at, obviously, lightning speed. The minute the refits are going to be complete, though, we're going to have a new design that's going to come around because we're going to want to upgrade them again with radar. The first radar tech. Oh, it's actually, we've got radar here too. Oh, we could be adding radar on as well. It never ends. We're just adding new stuff on. Well, the good news is, though, when you make very small upgrades to your ships, they take, the refit time is very, very short. Sometimes only a few days. And the rest of the ships, we're going to merge them up and exercise them indefinitely. Once again, we need more naval XP and we can gain a significant amount, a significant chunk by exercising. Doctrines wise, we're just going to go down the right side. We've got the army XP, so we'll spend it. All right, planes, we've been neglecting you. Can we put a big torpedo on you? So it doesn't auto upgrade the torpedo. I wonder why. It should do though. Yeah, it should do, but it doesn't. Right now, unfortunately, it doesn't have enough weight, so we're going to have to reduce the size of the machine guns. So that is actually doable now. And we can actually assign the nav on as well, the Mayo. If you click on this now, you can see the weight to thrust ratio because different missions have different weight requirements. So that's just the weight requirement. And then we need to start mass upgrading now. We can actually just click the upgrade button. Yeah, we'll do that. Build navs in China? Sure. Now we need to focus on infrastructure. Steel is definitely worth, so we'll build up those areas. Bigger engines for the planes, definitely. Make sure they're on auto upgrade. They are. Fighter modernization. We can go for the more latest carrier models. Once again, for the carriers. Carrier models for the plane carriers. Guys, take a shot every time Dave says a word completely wrong. We're clearly a little bit sleep deprived. It's day 7. I'm allowed to, okay? Finally, the queue for the Navy now. I can actually see the end of it. Also, one of our spies has been captured. It goes without saying, just save them immediately. Fighters done. Work on the Navy. Also, we can now in 7 days work on the next fighter plane, so we'll do that. And that'll also upgrade our existing planes for the planes that go on the carriers. See, I said it right that time. That's most of the passive bonuses. There's a few more here too, but that's ahead of time. Extra torpedo attack. Oh, I really want to do it. And also there's passive bonuses here, so I want to do the ones as well. Torpedoes, sure. Refits have been complete, but the sad part is that now they've been refitted, there's upgrade potential. Boom. And I can add a sonar on here and change this to radar, which increases the spotting chance massively. Increase the Mayo as well. This is the new D version 3. The question is now, if I was to refit my entire fleet, which I'm probably likely to do, how long is that going to take? Move everyone back to base. Then select the entirety of the destroyers, break them away. They're all the same design now. Every single one. Oh, actually, there's 2 that's not. How did you guys slip through the net? How? For some reason, it doesn't let me have the option to upgrade them. Why? You upgrade these ones. These 2 don't want to be upgraded. Oh, you know you can. To upgrade them 2 of these, each one will take 22 days. Oof. This is the 5% production bonus is really helpful. Because that means I can refit significantly quicker. So technically, I really want to use those, don't I? All right, balls. We're going to do it. All the fleet being refitted once again. It says 11 days for each. Oh, of course. The ones that have to do smaller upgrades are obviously significantly less overall anyway. Okay, makes sense. So just to recap what I just did there, I'm not explaining myself very well, is the ships that need more modules updated and new modules fitted, that obviously takes like a 30-day period, so it's quite long. However, the small upgrade is just a few days. Hence the reason why I thought, oh, that's going to take ages to do the lot, but it's actually not. So it's probably just about 2 weeks per ship, which still is quite high though, isn't it? Anyway, excavation tech's important now because we're going to have low resources and we need to take care of that immediately. So when it comes down to focuses, a lot of these don't even benefit me that much because I guess sortie efficiency is pretty good. Some of those passive bonuses. Ooh. Is it cheating if I make my super heavy battleship? I'm not technically making any new ships. It's the ones that the game gives me, right? No. In fact, that's cheating. Let's do naval production plus 20%, and that should increase refit speed. I think. Let's double check. Yes, it is. And I also need to desperately work on dispersed industry because that gives a flat bonus to upgrading as well. Let's change these guys around. So, carrier bonus, definitely need. Capital ship damage, definitely need. And then finally, naval air defense. Yep, definitely need. So once again, more bonuses to side with the Navy, giving more construction output, which increases refitting as well. Draft exemptions, sure. And then we can return back to this plane. Can't add in more torpedoes because it can only carry one torpedo. And at the same time, make it cheap. I don't think there's anything else we can add on to it. Nah, that's the perfect one. Let's give it a nice icon so it looks modern and up to date. Yeah, there we go. We can import a little bit of rubber just to keep the production up. You know, I completely forgot about the international market. It just completely fell out of my head. It would have been really useful for Japan because extra construction bonuses would have gone a long way. We've got a lot of old guns, so I guess we can sell that en masse on the market. Wow, so many international guns. Wow, a lot of international guns. Did it end up with British guns? Oh, were they the ones that Britain lent-leased to China, maybe? And then I got them in the end of the war? That's the only explanation I can think of. We'll be supplying the world now with arms. But nobody wants to trade with us. Damn. Oh, there we go. Manchukuo, my own puppet, wants to buy it off me. Of all people. We're going to focus a little bit on range as well. I might be using my carrier-based navs on land as well. So taking advantage of that bonus is going to be worth. Kind of nice to look at the refit queue go down one by one by one. I still think refitting could be a little bit better. I'm impossible to please. Let's look at what else we could upgrade as well. So look at the main fleet. We could look at the light cruisers. There's a few light cruiser 2s, 3 of them. The rest of them are cruiser 1s, light cruiser 1s. So light cruiser, the filter. Look at what this one is. This is a mine layer. I don't care about that one. This is a mine layer as well. If you upgrade them, that on the Mayo bonuses, extra cannons. Things you don't want to upgrade are engines. You don't want to be upgrading the turrets because turrets are very expensive as well. Forgot about fire control as well. That's an easy thing to upgrade as well. And this is the super cruiser. And if we were to upgrade the super cruiser, which is these lads, for some reason it doesn't have the option to refit this. I can refit these ones though. Refit into a carrier. Nice. And this will take 161 days to complete per ship. Wow, that's so not worth. Okay, that's so not worth. Oh, I think it's refitted the armor as well. Let's find the original ship. See, this is why some refitting options are just not worth at all. So this is the super cruiser. This was the previous model, right? No, that wasn't it. It was this one. So upgrade everything apart from the engine, the armor. We add the radar on. Oh, here's an example. So the refit cost is 1,662. If you go for engine 2, look at the cost. It's practically the cost of a new ship. And the armor is pretty expensive too. Just not worth it. Once again, there's certain things you should add on, some things you shouldn't add on. An example is not improving the armor or the engine. All right, now this is the super cruiser. Super cruiser V2. I've not added the Mayo on. There we go. And then, if I want to upgrade cruiser, this will take a total amount of 44 days per ship. Oh, that's so high still. Ay. So upgrading the turret was a mistake too. The turret cost is just exponentially high. So kind of want to do this one that's just a cheap upgrade. And then per ship, that'll be 26 days. So that's actually viable. So we're starting to see now upgrading engines, upgrading armor, and putting on new turrets, upgrading turrets, just not viable in the long run when it comes down to improving your navy. I mean, I could do it if I wanted to, if I desperately wanted to do it, but it's just not going to be worth it when it comes down to cost of production. Probably adding extra decks under carriers is probably not worth it either, is it? Refit cost is 2,000 and a brand new one is 9,000. So once again, just not viable. But what I could do is add radar on, and that's basically a minuscule cost. And maybe upgrade it with the Mayo. Yeah, that's worth. Same again. Radar, Mayo, save. And I guess I could do the same for the battleships as well, couldn't I? Radar, Mayo, save. The heavy cruiser, radar, Mayo, and save. I'm definitely not touching the submarines, just not worth it at all. I suppose I could upgrade all of them to this model, I guess. 158 production costs. Do I really care about the torpedoes? Not really. It's definitely making a difference though. Look, because how quick I'm upgrading these cruisers now just by adding on basic upgrades. It's definitely worth. Yep, and all the upgrades are going through now, so that's good. So now I can just queue up the carriers as well. Upgrade. Oh, that said it was going to be so many days. What? This upgrade is 25 days. Yep, that's viable. Keeping track of all these buttons though is probably one of the most difficult part. For 30 days, that makes sense. It's because you have so many different variants of different ships. This is 104 days. Why? I think there might be 2 different variants of cruiser hulls that we've got. So there we go. Bunch of upgrades going through. There's a few that are really old models and the need to have all brand new modules are fixed. So I don't want to have to go through each individual old model and upgrade them. So I'm not going to bother doing that. We've got 1 year before we go to war. So what do we do to prepare? I guess we're gonna have to make a few marines just so we've got some attack potential. We'll go for like a 36 combat with marine, and we use these guys to push on to the islands. We have so many naval dockyards now. Oh my goodness, so many. We need a bunch of crap divisions too to hold coastlines against the Americans trying to do naval invasions against us. Okay, when you've got the excavation techs done, which I've been working on, you start pulling out resources out of these regions. And when they build up, then you build infrastructure, and then you'll get more resources from those said regions. At the moment, though, running out of building slots. Oh, actually, you could build them in the mainland. All right, we'll do the mainland then. All right, horse. Deploy them. Put them onto a new army. And they're going to be island holders. So just specifically say, I'll hold the port. So I'm going to do a few in China as well, just to avoid disaster. I'm also going to click on a few areas that are owned by America as well. So when I do capture those regions, I'll automatically move my cavalry to those regions, like the Philippines, for instance. I just realized taking islands from the other side is a little bit more difficult because the distances are a lot further. Okay, regardless, we're done now. Defensive guy. Defensive field marshal? Sure, why not? And we can exercise those to level 3. And also we'll make a version of that. To be fair, we could do this division. No, we'll actually use that division. That's the better one because it's got better defensive stats and it's got artillery on it as well. Okay, we can do the final design now. So, destroyer. Select the destroyers. Upgrade them. There's no upgrade designs. That's fine. So we're going to go into destroyer. Upgrade. Which upgrades the torpedoes, which is a cheap cost. Actually, it's not the torpedoes we want to do, but we'll still upgrade the design anyway. The D3A. These guys will be upgraded, and it should take a wee while. 4 days per ship. Nice. Oh, look how many naval dockyards we've got. We do these instantly almost. Just shows that the small upgrades can complete at lightning speed. Next, the carriers. Actually, not the carriers. We're going to do the cruisers next. The light cruisers. See, the more variants of different ships you've got, the more complex this gets. So it'll be the V2B. We're going to upgrade by adding on... What are we going to add on? Are we going to improve the fire control? That's the main one I wanted. And then I guess we're going to add an extra turret of secondary purpose too. Yeah, sure. I actually don't know, guys, how well effective this is going to be. This might be a complete absolute disaster. You're about to see the biggest feedback gaming fail so far. The ships might not be strong enough. It might be a quantity is the advantage over quality. Also, we need to build radars further out. We're going to build one here. We'll build one here, and also build one here, and also one in the south here. I'm not sure if this is a bug, but I've noticed every time I refit, then I cancel the refit, ships are disappearing. I had over 100 to begin with, and now I have significantly less. Ooh. Pro tip, boys, when you've got a refit being produced, don't cancel it. It does appear that some of them are going missing, and microing these ships to upgrade them is really intense, and I can see why the average player doesn't bother. There's been a lot of build up to this, and I'm pretty excited to see how well these ships perform as well. However, I'll admit, I tend to avoid naval combat in my videos because it tends to be very boring to watch. There's not a lot to see. So I'll try and make the most of this, and then maybe we'll do a little sweep of the Pacific. We'll see. If the option is to favor the Navy, and it doesn't actually do anything, is it just maxes it out? Navy dominant. Okay. All right, final carriers, giving him the biggest radar, and also working on a bunch of cruisers to give them big radar as well and good fire control. Max the radar out. It's weird playing as Japan because you just have to go into all areas. I did mess up. I shouldn't have really gone in focus on tanks. That was a waste of time. Also, focus on an AA is silly because you want to work on your actual artillery. Planes is something you have to touch on a little bit. Then you need the radar as well. So many things you have to focus on. There we go. The entire fleet now is refitted and ready to go. It's December 1941. You know what that means, right? 100 days? Is there no way of striking them early? Bypass the Philippines, develop the resource regions, strike the south. Okay, we're gonna have to do the focuses. I've been neglecting the focuses. So that I'm gonna do what I never needed to do, and I'm upgrading all the submarines with the latest tubes and latest engines. We've got time, so let's do it. So I'm a little bit behind on schedule now. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to manually declare on the USA. If I declare on the United Kingdom, though, we can actually do that. All right, so the UK, we need a front line here. We need to cover this front line here, this front line here. There's so many little tiny small front lines you have to cover. At the very same time, we're going to need supply depots out here because there is none. One, yeah, just the one there will be fine. Max that out. This port here is a level 5 fort, so that's quite high. So we'll build a railway all the way to here. Max that out. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Japan is the hardest nation to play in Hearts of Iron 4. Yeah, it is. All right, my fleet is good to go. I think we do initially some convoy raiding and we split it in half. Realize I've neglected something massive. I'm gonna have no fuel. Okay, a bunch of civvies and build a little bit of fuel in my home islands. Ooh, this is a bit late to be going for this day, but it's got to be done. Attack. Hong Kong is rightfully Japanese. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, push, push, push. Grabbed all that land. That's good. We need the best bonus here. And I think it's going to be the positioning because that affects all my naval combat. This one's pretty good for your carriers. Yeah, we'll go for that. Soviet Union's going to have to supply us with a hefty amount of fuel here to keep us going. And we're pushing into the Raj too. Is there any of the front lines I've forgotten about? No. And America is not in the war. South. Strike the South doctrine. That gives us the ability to demand Indochina. South China Sea, the first naval combat. And annihilating the Malayan fleet. F. And now we need move further southwards. We don't have a lot of range of this region. We might have to get Siam into our faction. And now we're intercepting convoys in the Straits of Malacca, which is a region that's very busy on naval trade. And then we're intercepting the Dutch fleet here. And absolutely annihilating them. We're going to gain loads of naval XP from this, and we need it because our doctrines are super behind. But then again, our fleet took a batter in there as well. Ooh. This might be not as clear cut as I would have liked. But luckily, we've not lost a single ship yet anyway. Famous last words. You can see we're intercepting a lot of convoys around this region. This is where they're getting all the rubber and oil from the East Indies, Malaya, and the Dutch East Indies. And we've run out of fuel. We can get it from the United States. Now that makes sense. Alliance with Siam. And also we can demand Indochina from the Vichy French. And they say yes. Wait, no, come on. Yes. There we go. Oof, that's a big chunk of land. Should give us access more of this region, which is what we want. And we have full 100% naval efficiency. See the 100% there? If you ever find yourself with less than 100% naval efficiency, just press D, which is split, to split the fleet off. But be aware, you're making the fleet smaller when you do that. So just so FYI, that can weaken you. What happens sometimes when you refit? They sometimes all queue up like this. Get this mega huge... Whenever you learn something about Navy, you have to like unlearn a bunch of other things you've already learned. Naval game, not fun. All right, we can boost our carrier efficiency. That's super important. Org, targeting, sortie efficiency. That's going to make a big impact in battles when we need our navs to be doing lots of damage. And also at the same time too, we can deploy a bunch of navs to patrol coastlines. We've got loads of them too, so deploy 1,000 of them. Now we're producing a little bit of fuel at home now from the few refineries we've got. So I should have built some refineries in advance, but our economy is really healthy right now, so I feel like I'm in a good state right now. All right, you guys can push. No, we're still having a bit of a bottleneck. We're trying to get the railway lines up and repaired. Yeah, so this is kind of wonky because we're at war with the Allies right now, but America's chose not to join the war. And America won't join the war unless you attack the Philippines, which is just really bizarre if you think about it. Alliance with Siam. Will they say yes or no? I'm not even sure if they're allowed to say no. Is this glitched? I think it might have. All of that was a complete waste of time. Okay, we're gonna have to justify on the Thailand then in that case. Has to join faction and they're like, no, world tension isn't high enough. It really is. I don't know what you're talking about. They're gonna join the Allies now. Yep. And just beeline to Hong Kong. Hong Kong? No. Bangkok. Don't seem to have any divisions too, which is making this really easy for me. But now we got the option to open up Malaya and then crack open this region. Question is, have I actually lost any ships there? So click on Navy, click on lost ships. So we've lost convoys. We lost... No, we've lost no ships so far. All we've lost is convoys. One single convoy. Okay, we need all of our armies now. So I'm going to cancel the front lines. Make a big field marshal front line on the Raj. And then split off 4 divisions for the south. These guys are going to be dedicated to pushing southwards. This is a region that has bad supply too. Until you get to here, the supply is bottlenecked. So just beeline to that location. That'll be easy for you. You get the supply and then you're sorted. You've been embargoed by the United States. There goes our fuel. Luckily, now we are actually producing a lot more fuel at home. Siam is capped. An opportunity for an encirclement. So pin all the divisions that are stuck, stranded. As you can see here, we're super focusing on the technology here to get more oil out of all our refineries. Because right now, oil is keeping us afloat. I mean, literally is keeping us afloat. It's keeping us afloat for our Navy, isn't it? Venezuelan oil. The forbidden oil. And also Iran. God, we're making friends with all the friends of America here, right? And then we've finally got a break in the north now. All that supply investment is definitely worth it now, as we're able to push further north and secure the supply. But every time we trade so favorably. Our very first loss, a submarine. Is that the only one? We have lost 2 convoys, 1 submarine. Yep. F in the chat for I-123. It is our very first naval loss. F in the chat for the brave boyo. He fought well, but it is G for him. It's like they've left Malaya empty. So I'm just going to slip inside and grab Singapore. This is the front line that's going really well. The Indian front's still a bit of a nightmare due to supply problems. Done. And now we can garrison this region now as well. Hey, 2 supply depots right next to each other. Connect with the railway and to the main front line and get those fixed immediately. That's going to be where we make a big push here, because that's where all the supply is concentrated. And waiting to get supply here is causing problems. We keep going back and forth. And once again, when you first connect to the supply depot, you don't get full supply to it until a few weeks after, as you build up your supply depots in that region. Still says no connection to capital. It does have a connection. Oh, there we go. Supply has arrived. Everyone get on the front line now. And we should be good for a big push into India and end this. Doctrines, don't forget about them. Especially naval doctrines. Our detection chance is very high due to the big radar. What's the big radar, isn't it? On everything. I just put a big radar on everything. All right, big push, attack. And you can see in the north it's doing really well because supply lines are connected. But this Siam block here is a problem. Whenever we intercept their navy, though, we clear it pretty well. Oh, no, actually, these are the subs. I want to pull the subs off, actually, because they're going to come in handy later on, but they don't have a lot of fighting capabilities. I just want to focus on the ships that can do actual real damage, these ones. Realize that I don't have full deck size for all these, so I'm just going to add on a few more planes. 1, 2. There we go. Whenever you spot a carrier that doesn't have all the planes on it, add some more on. I think we've reached the point now where we're actually making a fuel at home, so we can dial down the imports. Meanwhile, Britain's like, let's go through this area of the world that has unbelievably bad supply. That seems like a good idea. Okay, fair enough. And there we go, we've finally broken through. I'm going to ignore this for the time being. This is a good distraction because this is dedicating British divisions that really can't do anything. So if you ever get stuck here, your best bet is to naval invade from Malaya into the heart of India, where the supply is a lot better, because the supply gets absolutely rubbish around this eastern area. I don't even know what this area is even called. Not really showing it, but there's just lots of technologies we're just catching up on. I realize flame tanks will be useful now. Upping that logistics is a good idea to keep the supply down. Sensitive conscription, because we've reached 0 manpower. Bashing against those front lines has really hurt us. Also developing Japan's a good idea, giving you aluminium, but we don't even producing a lot of aluminium because we're not even using it. Aluminium is something we use for plane production, but we're just not even focusing on plane production. Maxed the land doctrine out. How is the naval one doing? Work in progress. Getting this right side is going to be a big buff to our carriers. So that means our carriers are always going to be performing relatively well. I'm going to put them back into port right now and just repair them up, because at the moment there's not really a lot of action even required, but we're definitely going to need to take advantage of some repairs here. So many things need repairing. What I'm going to do now is be more adventurous with my fleet. Oh, I can't though. No, I can't. I guess I could push them into this region, and this denies east and west of kind of the hemispheres. The western and eastern hemisphere? Is there an eastern and a western hemisphere? Have I just made that up? We ever intercept the British fleet, we just kill the screens, but we've never really intercepted a big fleet yet. Just these scraggy little ones. This bit can get tricky because you can sometimes find yourself losing a lot of these battles and you're just chewing through manpower and equipment. And I think I actually have reached that point now. Yeah, I have. So just be really careful at this point, because you can run into a situation where you enter a pit of bad supply and attrition and you can just never get out of it. Make it a flame tank here. We'll just produce a few of those. Keep upgrading the equipment. In a situation where I've had to delete some of my garrisons because I realize I've got a lot of infantry equipment and artillery tied up into those garrisons that aren't really actively in combat, so we want the firepower on the front line, so I just deleted 20 divisions just to resupply all the equipment back to the front line. And it's like I say, is actually making an impact now. We've broken through into the main supply regions of India, so we're in a really good spot now to actually do proper damage. Denmark broke free, and then Germans are going to invade them a second time. Oh, and Germany's doing a really great job of invading the Soviets. Do you want some Lend-Lease? Old guns? Have the lot. You know, I'd realized that when you send a ridiculous amount of guns to one nation in one go, you can actually destroy their economy because they have not enough convoys to actually to supply overseas regions. For Germany, though, it's actually okay because there's nothing overseas for them. It's all on the mainland. But I realized you could really hurt them in the long run if you're not careful. And be careful with that one, boys. So it usually follows a pattern. You make breakthroughs. You look for areas to exploit, do damage. You push in, grab supply depots. You can make another battle plan. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Keep an eye on your logistics to make sure they're tip top. and then just keep pushing, keep attacking, and eventually you'll end up like this. You'll break through. Now we can block the Arabian Sea, which is big. Oh, actually, it's not big because they can still get around here. I just wanted to block the Suez. See if we can do this now. And then when we get a bit more range with an extra port, we may be able to go a little bit further. You can see now when we're hitting convoys here, we're doing lots of damage. Yeah, so many British convoys. Hey, we run out of fuel again. Iran, Germany, help us out. Okay, I'm prepared for America now. Carrier battle groups. Okay, we're going to grab Bombay. Access a port on the west side of India, which should open up these regions. And there we go. Yep. Now we can get ships into the East African coast and the Red Sea, even though it's not showing we're in there. There we go. I have to reselect it, and now we're in there. Oh, look at the damage we're doing now. Because this is an important sea route for the Allies, having to go through the Suez Canal. Seems that Africa didn't go too fruitful for the Axis, but the Eastern Front is going really well for the Soviets. Well, not the Soviets. The Soviets are the one losing here, Dave. Germany's the ones that's winning. There we go. A naval invasion from behind. What is happening? Oh, India's collapsed. Oh, I wonder what happened then. That was the final victory point, and it caused them to collapse in on themselves. Wow. GG. So not only was it big to close the Red Sea, but it also was big to knock out India. The most powerful torpedo, the advanced torpedo. Let's get it done. It's insane that you can make so many refineries. It produces enough rubber and fuel to keep your entire economy going when you don't really have access to any real oil. Actually, that's not true. There is a little bit of oil. No, we don't have any oil. Oh, there's a little bit there. And there's also... No, there's a little bit there too. I'll say one thing. Increasing the spotting chance for your destroyers, your cruisers, makes a big difference. That radar and sonar makes you spot everything and you don't miss any convoy. So every single one gets intercepted. It does some insane damage. I think they're better off having the spies in Britain here because we're focused on Britain now, aren't we? And the advanced torpedo. Is it heavy? It's very heavy. So we're going to have to take off machine guns to actually fit it on. Final pocket of Indians. Get out! Well, it's not just Indians, it's the Allies. Some Greek divisions in here as well. And they're gone. Update on the Navy. This is technically a Navy video now, unofficially. So we lost 59 convoys, 72 in the last year. Don't see any ship losses. Not a single one. Not sure if that's right. Doesn't seem accurate to me at all. Anyway, basing rights. Access through Germany. And I want to move my fleet to the United Kingdom. And the United States still hasn't joined the war. It's so weird. How's their Navy doing? They have 500 convoys. They still have a stupid amount of convoys because it's Britain. Their fleet's relatively intact. Well, naval invasion has got to happen. And it's going to be the other side. This will actually piece them out as well. Ooh. Never mind this. It's now all happening in Europe. When Mexico joins the war before America. One of the United States anyway, but just the other one. We've arrived in Europe. Let's do some convoy raiding here. Once again. Oh, that's the penalty I was talking about. Too many carrier ships. Air traffic is limited to 80% of air wings, so you're losing 20% of the mortal planes that can be actually in battle. Yeah, I'm okay with the 20%. It's not that big. I'm going to try and preemptively repair most of my ships. So that way, even if they're scraped just a little bit and scuffed a tiny amount, at least we can repair them to max level again. So therefore, we don't have to worry about losing them at any point. Okay, this is going really well. What if I try and take the English Channel as well? This is getting a bit dangerous now because they usually have ships up around this area. Yeah, there's navs in this region. So they're going to start chipping away and doing damage to our fleet. And you can see now we've had some critical hits from here. So this is not a good region to be fighting, especially when I don't want to risk losing my fleet. And you can see the repair job now is pretty big. We've got all the naval bombers at home, so I'm going to bring those over. 1,600 of them. And start striking the English Channel and just see what happens. Can we not use their air bases? Oh no, Access doesn't allow you to use their naval bases. What? But if I cancel my faction and join their faction. There we go. That's how we do it. The Mammoth Axis. Omega Axis. Then start bombing the English Channel. Here we go. The bombings begin. As I said before, I'm super curious to see how effective this is going to be. And we're not seeing a lot going on here. Go patrol in the English Channel. Once again, I'm experimenting here, guys. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But we're managing to shoot down a few navs here. But once again, they're chipping damage into big capital ships. So it's something that we don't really want to happen. But eventually, we're going to knock out the navs somehow, right? Yeah, you can see these are the navs being thrown into the air. They're long-range patrol bombers. And then we're actively shooting them down. And if I put them on air superiority, they are completely outgunned. They get chewed. So yeah, we're not doing that. Naval invasion? I don't mind if I do. And there's nobody here. How does this keep happening? Once again, secure the beachheads. Land. Send over your main army. And be aggressive. We've got Portsmouth. Be nice to have Dover. A few convoy raids. And that should be some good damage. But be aware that you can get blockaded in this region, so just keep an eye on supply for the time being. But things are looking pretty good. Go, go, go. Oh my god, look, there's so many divisions on London here. We wrap around London. We're going to do a lot of damage here, so I'm going to try and do that. And 30 divisions on London. Ah, they broke out. But now they're locked into east of England. If they were spread out here, they'd be doing a lot of defense here and doing a lot of work. Because they're locked in to here, they're in a really bad position. And is that encirclement? Yes, it is. Pinned into East England. That would have at least 400,000, 300,000 troops easy. Not really intercepted any big ships at the moment. That's kind of disappointing. I was kind of wanting to intercept something nice and big and chunky and do some big damage. I'm not really seeing any British ships here. Convoys, they don't feel like they've taken no convoy damage, and they've got all their big fleet. It's one of the issues with Navy too. You build this big fleet up, you want to see it in a big action-packed battle, but then the AI doesn't put up their ship. So it's like, well, if they're not going to come out and fight me, then, well, I mean, there's not going to be no big fancy battle, is there? The United Kingdom, it's gone. F. My contribution is 55%. Well, that means the Raj is mine, right? The Dutch East Indies are mine, and all the islands are mine. And Australia's mine. I didn't have to invade Australia. It made my life so easy, didn't it? Australia is a nightmare nation to invade too. So many little tiny islands. It's like in a peace conference, they need to pop out and look a lot bigger, because otherwise it's really difficult to click them. And once again, we can make big demands because we have lots of war contribution, which is surprising me. Is it's so high because Germany and Italy have been in the war significantly longer than me. So I'm surprised they have the ability to ask so much. Okay, this is what you all came for, really, wasn't it? We didn't want to see this absolute rubbish. You all came to see me take on the American fleet, right? Did we lose any ships in that encounter? We lost 2 light cruisers, 2 destroyers, and that was it. And then we inherited a monstrous repair queue. So what I did here is I split off the 2 fleets, and now there's 2 separate fleets in 2 separate ports here doing repairs, one here and one here. And that way you can do the repairs twice as quick, because each port level is 1 ship that could be potentially repaired. So if you have 2 lots of queues going simultaneously, you do twice as many repairs in one go. Guys, I want to apologize because this last video, I felt like I fluffed a lot of the things I was saying. I'm just extremely tired. This is a 4-hour recording session, so it is a bit of a marathon for me, and doing naval stuff is usually not very fun, but I thought I'd give it a shot as Japan just for a laugh. Hand on heart, it was kind of an amusing challenge, but I never really want to do this ever again. So you might be watching this and thinking, I want to try this. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not worth it. And if you ever try it, you'll probably like, oh yeah, this is why he doesn't do it. This is why he doesn't do these kind of challenges. Well, this is the reason why. Anyway, regardless, we're going to take on the Americans now. Okay, declare war immediately. Puppet for the Philippines. Oh, of course. The only issue is I want to see a big battle between the 2 navies, but we're not probably going to get that, are we? So what if we put spies? We'll say we're the spy master. We'll put spies in America, build up the spy network. We'll find out where the fleet is, and we'll put our fleet where their fleet is. Ah! The master plan. Oh, mamma mia. Well, we did intercept their master fleet, and this was the outcome. GG. We're still at war with someone, though. Oh, the Soviet Union, right. I've just realized the Republicans won the Spanish Civil War. That's one area of the world I never bothered to look at the entire game, and it was a different outcome. Up with the Germans invade Spain because they've joined the Comintern. Is Germany at war with the United States? No. The United States has annexed Canada. I have no idea how this could have happened. The United States isn't at war with Germany. They weren't involved in the peace conference. I have never seen anything like this before. Is this a secret event? What? There you go, the American dream, boys. Right. Fleet, exercise to level 3. Exercise all the air wings on the carriers. Building up spy networks in America. Get enough intel on them and find out where their fleet is. I'm just going to intercept their fleet dead on. Attack. And the final battle. Clash of the Titans. Okay, we're ready. Spies, maxed out. Cryptology department, maxed out. How much intel have we got on their navy? We have everything on their navy. All right, let's just declare war. So we're going to give it a moment. Let the ships shuffle around. We can see there's a strike force here. The problem with strike force is they're only going to come out and engage me if they think they can win. So let's do patrol here and here and here, and then just see if we can spot them. Okay, we've spotted something here, and they got away. We'll split off the 2 navies into 2 separate groups. We took out a cruiser. We're going to have to finish off the Soviets ourselves. Yeah, for some reason, the front lines have just stalled. Maybe the AI is scripted to do that? No, that can't be the case. Germany has to knock out the Soviet Union. Something weird's happened there. Okay, they're active here. So maybe we should go to the Pacific. If we click on America too, click Intel, we can actually see that they're doing strike force in these regions. Yep. So therefore we do patrol in those regions to actually look for them. All right. We've got someone spotting here. They're actively seeing something. Engage. And it's just a bunch of destroyers. And we absolutely obliterate them in one tick. See, this spotting icon on the right here means we're spotting something. We've detected something. And it's a bunch of screens too. And knock them out. Same again. Bunch of screens. These are the spotters, by the way, the screens here they're leaving here. These to kind of plan the naval invasions, and they're also to spot the bigger fleets. But the fleet is here right now. We're here right now. We're ready for you. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, this is something bigger. And initially when we engage, we start doing big, thick damage. Oh, are we going to lose our first destroyer in active combat? Yeah, we are. And this is the big fleet. And we're engaging. We're doing lots of damage. Once again, remember, a lot of the stats aren't very high on these ships. These are just passive bonuses because we've not really upgraded any of the solid modules. All we did is go for the passive bonuses and improve the radar tech. But it's doing a really good job of just slicing through. And again, these guys look like the ones running away. So now we're going to completely obliterate the capitals on the retreat. So we're dealing good damage. We're pursuing them. We're hitting them hard. But overall, when we do get into battle situations, we are taking a lot of damage anyway. We're seeing a battleship here. Can I, like, tell these guys to do a naval strike to, like, port strike this? I've never actually seen a ship on the map before. Like, we know the location of it. Doing a good job with the naval invasions anyway. They're sniping my guys on the islands. Okay, there's one way we can end this in a massive bang, and it requires cheating. So, guys, if you get upset by cheating and this really ruins your day, I'm not here to ruin your day. I'm giving you an exit opportunity right now. But I wanted to end this series with a nice, juicy, big bang. So what I'm going to do is a cheat. So you've had your warning now. I'm about to show a big cheat to say the big final battle between the American and the Japanese ships. I'm just going to repair my ships up in the meantime before we go in. Okay, are you ready? You ready? Are you sure you're ready? Okay, turn AI off. Select my fleet. Put them on always engage. TP, teleport. Teleport them right here. Tag to USA. Merge up the entirety of your fleet, apart from the submarines. Everyone go here. Merge up. TP. Everyone go here. Turn TP off now. There you go. Go here. Merged up. TP back on. Yep. Move back here. Assign an admiral. Okay, we don't want the subs. I've realized the subs are not going to be here because it affects the battles like really weird. Put them on always engage. All right, you're about to see the clash of the Titans, boys. I'll tag back to Japan for this. And here we go. Two fleets of both navies are on top of each other. America is so winning this. And then I put them on patrol, maybe? Okay, they don't seem to want to fight in this region. So we're going to go somewhat more neutral. Beyond, go here. I guess I could put them on both on patrol. Once again, I've never really done this before, so I'm just kind of curious to see the best way of making them both engage in one region. I'm going to put you on patrol here. And then Japan in this region. Here. And then same again. Patrol. Go here. Oh, there we go. Here we go, boys. This is what you tuned in for. This is it. I told you I wanted to end this with a bang, and this is the only way I could make two big fleets meet each other in battle. So initially, the first loss is for the Americans, losing a bunch of destroyers. Remember, both sides are saying that they will engage till the very, very, very end. And initially, the losses for USA are absolutely catastrophic as all the destroyers are getting absolutely torn apart. Now we see some cruisers lost. The first blood for Japan, losing 2 destroyers. Heavy cruiser loss. Loads of the screening ships get annihilated. The ones on the front here are all the screens. They're the light cruisers and they're the ones taking all the damage at the moment. But I cannot believe the numbers here. So let's just have a look at the numbers again. So when it comes down to light attack, my light guns are doing ham. Insane damage. Hence the reason why we're trading so well on the front line. And when it comes down to heavy guns, oh, we're doing good damage too. What is happening here? Why are we doing so good damage, but they're doing barely any damage? What is going on? Why are the numbers so favoring me? Yeah, I actually really don't know why the numbers are so favoring me at this moment. But anyway, there you go. The capital ships are getting ripped apart. I have taken 3 destroyer losses. So there's something here, and I can't quite figure out why. But there's the battle result. Can we see the big summary? I wonder if it was the carriers doing the damage here, and this was mainly carrier damage. Where would I actually see that, though? So the carrier name for my fleet, my carriers are called these ones. I'm not going to attempt to say these. They're in Japanese. I'm looking because it shows here. This is the ship that did the kills, and this is what they killed. Heavy ship, cruiser hull, cruiser hull.
I can't actually see on here damage dealt by the carriers. I wonder if it's classed as it's a kill by the planes and not by the actual physical ship. Because we can see this heavy ship here did all this damage, where 3 actual kills are actually claimed by this specific ship. But this really heavy ship here did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kills. But I can't see anything from the actual carriers. It just breaks down the individual ships one by one. It does give a breakdown here of these are the F-right, but the damage isn't very high. So it looks like the vast majority of the damage was through the capital ships. But it doesn't give a breakdown of the navs, and it doesn't give a breakdown of the screening ships. All I can see is the damage from the capitals. This data is kind of useless, to be honest with you. Well, anyway, lads, that was the final battle. I don't think it was a very scientific result. I think something weird happened with the stats there. Maybe something to do with positioning. I don't know. But regardless, I tried to fight in a neutral territory where Japan and USA both own land in this territory. But there you go. It does appear that the easiest and most efficient upgrade that you can make to your ships does appear to be the passive bonuses that I showed you here. A lot of these ones, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. All these 6 here. All these ones, 1, 2, 3. And of course, top it off as well, maxing out the radar as well. The radar gives, this is it here, giving surface detection, sub-detection, anti-air capabilities to percentage increases. And also this one's pretty good too, advanced fire control, giving extra hit chance. I guess hit chance might be a big factor at the moment. That might be something I'm not taking into account. Once again, it's kind of cool to see that battle. However, this is the most unscientific video in the world. What can you conclude from this? Well, you can conclude refitting is useful for some of the screening ships and the lighter ships, and definitely radar and fire control are definitely a must. Refitting anything else is just not worth it. Guys, it's been 7 days, 7 videos. This one has been the most scuffed video so far. A 4-hour recording session. Don't usually go on this long. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see more of this in future, a like and a subscribe will give you more. There'll be a playlist showing all the videos for this series. If you want to watch them all back to back while you go to sleep, that would help me out massively. I'm not even joking. Because it's December and ad revenue is good, that's why I've decided to do this little 7-day marathon this week. It wasn't initially a plan. It's just something just popped into my head randomly and I just kept going, and I felt like this is quite fun. But now I really need to take a rest. I'm recovering from COVID and I'm at absolute state right now. So resuming the regular videos coming up, probably shorter videos. But guys, if you want me to return to this at some point in the future, we might go through all the minor powers as well, and I'll let you guys vote which minor powers I take care of and make videos out of. It's been great. It's been fun. I hope you have an awesome day. If you've had fun, let me know in the comments. I'll see you soon, lads. Peace out. God bless. And if you want to see another video, there's one on screen that YouTube is giving you right now. If you want to give this one a click, that would help me out. Well, if you want to watch more content, it's on screen anyway. There you go. Hey, I'll see you soon, lads. Bye-bye.